So yesterday I said that I was going to do I think I said I was going to like blitz through like 5 cards for today's video. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing. We're on the Dokfan Wiki today, and we're going to talk about this. I don't know who this is. I might have. Who is this? This is the first card we're going to be talking about. Who? Who? Otherworld Warriors. Okay. Without further ado, let's go ahead and just start with this guy. So okay, what do we have here? So West Kai's Strong Men. I do not know how to pronounce that. Leader skill, none. His super attack, the Moonchuck. He just does extreme damage to enemy. Okay, so that's terrible. His passive, one good shot, one attacking. He gets one turn of 200% attack and one turn of debuffing the enemy's defense by 100%, which is absolutely worthless. Wow, so he gets one turn of his 200% attack, one attacking, as well as debuffing the enemy's defense, and after that, he's pretty much a nothing card. Got it. His link set, that being Infighter, Otherworld Warriors, Experienced Fighters. He is an R rarity unit, so don't really expect much from him in terms of entirety for his card kit. And in his categories, Otherworld Warriors, Storied Figures, Tournament Participants. Why is there a rainbow for him if all rarities don't even have access to the potential system? Who created this card? Okay. His old passive typing was 200% attack and reduces attacked enemy's defense to 0 for first attack only. So you went ahead and buffed his passive only by lowering the enemy's defense by 100% for one turn with that attack buff. Okay, so this card's obviously terrible, but you know, it's within the concept of an R rarity. All right, so on to the next card. Why does he? It says Otherworld Wars. That's probably something from like the Otherworld tournament or something, because he's on tournament participants. All right, next card. Who are we talking about? We're gonna be talking about this SR Goku Angel and Gregory. All right. Shout out to Gregory. I mean, because he's on like every awakening like ever for Dokkan characters, right? You need Gregory's. All right, so apprentice and assistant, Goku Angel and Gregory. Leader skill is join forces 50% to HP, and that is it. And their super attack, that being the hammer tap, causes low damage to enemy and disables enemy action once within a turn. So hey, this SR has something useful within, that being disable enemy action once within a turn only, but it's something, right? And before they attack, they get guarantee dodge. Okay. And when attacking with 12 or more ki, 25% attack and defense. So, wait, let me just read the link set, actually, before I say anything. So, their link set is Z Fighters, All in the Family, Infighter, Shocking Speed, Prepare for Battle, More Than Meets the Eye. So I assume More Than Meets the Eye is for Gregory. I'd like to assume. And the categories are on Pure Saiyans, Goku's Family, Saiyan Saga, Otherworld Warriors, Turtle School, Bond of Friendship, Earthbred Fighters, Tournament Participants, and Join Forces. Okay, and again, they have a potential system to show here, even though they're just SRs. Do they awaken? They don't awaken. And then they have their old passive right up here. Okay, what's that? Guarantee dodge, including super attack before attacking. So I'm going to assume that's pretty much the same damn thing. And 25% attack and defense when performing a super attack. And this is when attacking with 12 or more keys. So it's pretty much the same thing. It's practically the same thing. At least this card is more useful than the previous card we just looked at, because they do have guaranteed dodge before they attack, and they do get an attack and defensive buff when attacking, and they disable enemy action within a turn, but do keep in mind they are an SR, so, you know, there's that awakens into an SSR, but hey. Well, yeah, SSRs, they don't get the potential system. It's only when they go into a TWAR. Yeah. Alright? Because they're just going from an SR into an SSR. Okay, we're not getting the ball on that. Alright, next card. This SSR baby, does he have an awakening before I go ahead and talk about him? Let's see. So he doesn't have an awakening. Okay, got it. All right. Let me go back to them and see something real quick. Let me just check this Gregory card real quick. Yeah, it just goes in SSR. SSRs clearly don't have no damn potential system. All right. Anyways, Absolute Conqueror, Baby Vegeta. He is, of course, SSR, and he's STR, of course. All right, his leader skill is Core to Body and Mind, 3 key, and 70% of the stats. So, assumingly, he's going to be a banner unit. And he just causes immense damage to enemy. His super attack, that being the Revenge Death Ball. His passive, that being King of the new Tuffle race. Before beginning a stage, the passive skills of all allies whose name includes Goten, possess GT, Gohan, possess GT, or Trunks, possess GT, becomes 80% attack and defense at the start of turn, as well as Corroded Body and Mind, category allies getting 3 key and 30% attack and defense. So I'm assuming he's buffing any of those characters that have those specific names. Like, what comes to mind is like, I don't know, like from that one like Dokkan event where you can farm up these guys. Assumingly, he just turns them into support type units with additional start of turn attack and defensive buffs. And his basic effects, he starts out with 60% attack and defense at the start of turn, and he gets 1 key and 40% attack and defense for every Corroded Body and Mind category ally in the rotation, so it should be fairly easy. And minus 5 key if there is a super class ally in rotation. Okay, so he's hurt by you having a super class ally on the rotation, so you pretty much just want a full Corroded Body and Mind team with this guy, so you never have to worry about that key debuff. And when he's attacking with 12 or more key, he gets 100% attack and defense. So that does cover for his already nothing super attack effect of him just doing only immense damage. And that's pretty much that. And his link set, that being Brainiacs, Thirst for Conquest, GT, Hatred of Saiyans, Coward, and Prepare for Battle. So pretty much a baby-esque link. Brainiacs for baby. I don't remember baby ever having Brainiacs. Interesting. And his categories, that being Transmission Boosts, Artificial Life Forms, Terrifying Conquerors, Target Goku, Revenge, Inhuman Deeds, Space Traveling Warriors, Corroded Body and Mind, and GT Bosses. So GT Bosses buff. Guys, excuse me. I just woke up about an hour ago. And I just wanted to get this video out as soon as possible. And I'm supposed to be doing a stream today, bro. Oh, damn. Okay. Alright. And these are stats already shown, and he is an SSR that goes into TUR, so he has access to the potential system, obviously. And he's on the lower end for the defensive stat, but he's on the higher end for the offensive stat. Only 70% the stats for his leader skill, so I'm assuming he becomes a banner unit. Yeah, he becomes a banner unit with this type of leader skill. To make him better for his awakening, I don't know, probably. I don't know, of course he's going to get more stats start of turn, as well as him having those Corroded Body and Mind categories on rotation, but I don't know. Do we go the route of making him stronger with having Corroded Body and Mind characters on the team, but giving him additional damage reduction per Corroded Body and Mind category characters on the team? Maybe, but outside of that, I don't know. They can make him an orb changer that nukes. They can let him have base dodge with some damage reduction for him having Corroded Body and Mind characters on the team, having a 10% damage reduction up to 50% per Corroded Body and Mind category characters on the team. And I don't know, I guess he gets guard when there's a full Corroded Body and Mind category rotation. And if you have a super class ally on the rotation, shit, you lose 5 key. Maybe just bump that up to 6 key. Like, yeah, just leave it at that, so that it just deters you from just running it, right? Or if you want to get real extra nasty, you can go ahead and put 5 key and 50% attack and defense debuff. That'd be real nasty. This is interesting though. Yeah, him giving just all those guys, giving them all to like be able to support. Yeah, he just adds this onto these 3 guys passive. The Goten, Gohan, and Trunks possess just get just free support and additional attack and defensive buff, which is nice. Okay, so that's it up for baby. Apparently he has a old passive. His old passive. Okay, so he got 100% attack and performing super attack. This is the same goddamn passive. Just about, right? It's the same damn thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. There's a comment too. Amazing, although I'm curious why he can't go Super Baby 1 or 2. Didn't want to make a Dokkan Awakening for this card. Maybe in the future I will. This form of Baby Vegeta is underutilized. True. True. We don't have just regular old Baby Vegeta like a solid one in Dokkan. So yeah, this guy could be a nice banner unit addition. Alright, so that will be 3 cards so far, I assume. And next up, we're going to be talking about this Goku. Alright, so we actually have a real card here. 2029. Woo! Okay, so this is the first Dokkan Fest, I would assume. Alright, so what are we talking about here? I do not care about Marvel Rivals. Shout out to the people that play Marvel Rivals, but it's just not my cup of tea. And he has an Easy A. I'm gonna read the Easy A instead. I'm gonna read the Easy A instead. Yeah. Rather than read the pre-Easy A. Yeah, because he's... I mean, this makes notes. It just doesn't make sense to read the pre-Easy A. It doesn't. I mean, I see Easy A, but gonna do it. Alright, so Alright is taken. That's your name? Alright is taken's Easy A. Okay. Alright, so his leader skill. Okay, so Super Saiyan Goku. His leader skill is Super Class 3 Key 200% across the board. An additional 20% of the stats goes to Earthbred Fighters or Super Saiyans. Okay, so that should be a fairly stacked 220. That should be a fairly stacked 220. Alright, so his super attack, that being Meteor Clash, 50% attack and defense for 5 turns. Very strong super attack effect. Alright, and his passive, that being Legendary Super Strength. Holy hell, this passive, it's so spaced out. Wow. See if I can fit it on the screen. I think I could. I could. Alright, that's everything. That's the whole entire passive. Alright, so his base effects, he gets 159% attack and defense at the start turn, as well as launching a guaranteed super for 5 turns. Nice. With unrestricted damage reduction. Cool. And when there is an ally whose name, or excuse me, an ally, I'm too used to seeing the name thing. When there's an ally who's on the Earthbred Fighters, Primal Gods, Super Saiyans, Pure Saiyans, Hybrid Saiyans, Namekians, Androids, and Earthlings. 8 categories, bro? What? Okay. Okay, so he gets Guard, including against him taking super attacks, obviously. 130% attack and defense and 30% damage reduction. So if you just have one out of these 8 categories as an ally, you just get free Guard, additional attack and defense buff, as well as 30% damage reduction. And when attacking, he gets 120% attack and defense, nice, and 2 key. And depending on the amount of HP, performs 2 additional super attacks. The lower, the more. Okay, so the lower his HP, the more supers he gets. Okay. And for every attack performed, 59% attack and defense up to 300% attack and defense. And for every attack received, he gets 30% attack and defense up to 120% attack and defense, and 1 key up to 5. Alright, so for starters, not only does this guy get up to 70% damage reduction as well as Guard, but he can also do a plethora of supers. 2+ supers right over here, and if you have the lower the HP, the more supers you can do. And he gets 1 guaranteed super right over here for just within those first 5 turns. So he can do up to 3+ supers. Granted, your HP is at max, but if your HP is lower, who knows how many supers you can actually do. That's pretty crazy. Wow. 3+ supers. The lower you get, the more supers you can do. You get up to 70% damage reduction with Guard. You get crazy amounts of stats in this kit. 130% attack and defense right over here. An attack and defensive buff from his passive to a super attack effect right over here. Of course, from his passive. And 59% attack and defense up to 300% attack and defense for every attack performed right over here, which is very easy for him to do, considering the fact that he has built-in guaranteed supers, as well as him building up attack and defense up to 120% for every attack received. This guy's going to get lots of stats when he is fully built up. It is ridiculous. And his active skill, that being the Super Kamehameha, massively raises attack temporarily, then causes ultimate damage with greater power to enemy. Can be activated from the 5th turn from the start of battle, or whenever HP is 59% or below, or below 59%, once only. His link set: Super Saiyan, Saiyan Warrior Race, Golden Warrior, Experienced Fighters, Prepare for Battle, Kamehameha, and Fierce Battle. And the categories he's on: Pure Saiyan, Super Saiyans, Kamehameha, Goku's Family, Turtle School, Bond of Friendship, Bond of Parent and Child, Accelerated Battle, Earthbred Fighters, Superheroes, Legendary Existence, and Extreme Units. Extreme Units, interesting. And this was made by Super, Kaioken, Goku Extreme. And Warrior Soul. What in the hell is this? Affinity? What? Whoa. What the hell is this? Okay, so Warrior Soul. I guess it's like a little like, I don't know. Is it supposed to be like equipment from Legends? Oh, dear God. We already have the orb system in Dokkan. Imagine they added an equipment system. Orbs are basically equipment. They are. They're basically equipment. They're basically equipment, but like, they don't give stats to this degree. This is not. Okay, if we're talking like, okay, equipment, this right here, this is crazy. This is not compared to orbs. All right, so we're not gonna read the level 1. We're just gonna read like the affinity S as well as the level 10. Like, but yeah, we will read the level 1. And we're gonna read the level 1 and the level 10 and put with the Infinity S. Because obviously this is the weaker one, so we don't really care about that. Okay, so with the Infinity S for the level 1, the Warrior Soul, which is basically equipment, 59% attack and defense when performing a super attack, as well as 1 key and 10% attack and defense. In addition, for every attack performed, up to 2 key and 30% attack and defense. Bro, they would never make an equipment do this. I mean, equipment, my bad. They would never make a orb do this. They would never. A skill orb will never be able to do this. They would have to add separate equipment. The day Dokkan gets equipment, bro, it's gonna be looking like Legends. And then for level 10 affinity, 59% attack and defense when performing a super attack or activating the active skill, as well as 1 key up to 10%. Oh, well, 1 key and 10% attack and defense in addition for every attack performed, up to 2 key and 59% attack and defense. So this is obviously going to be the strongest one you want to go for. Equipment, bro. Holy hell. Okay. Alright, and one more card for the video. That being this Bulma. Alright, let's go and see this Bulma Youth. Alright, what do we have here? Who was it made by? Okay, so this is the old passive. Alright, let's just see what we got here. Okay, so her control finally regained. This is a Bulma Youth. Her leader skill is all types, 3 key, and 30% across the board. And a super attack, that being the rocket launcher, causes supreme damage to enemy with a 30% chance to stun. And her base effect, she stuns all enemies for 1 turn, as well as her having a 30% chance to stun the attacked enemy for 1 turn, presumably. It is. And she gives all allies 2 key and 30% attack and defense, unrestricted, very nice. And she has a 50% chance of giving an additional 30% attack and defense for all allies. Nice. And when the attacked enemy is in the following status, that being stunned, she gives all allies 2 key and 100% attack and defense, as well as a 30% chance to crit. That's nice. She gives crit chance support as well as huge attack and defensive support when the enemy is stunned. That's very good. And do keep in mind, she has 2 separate stun procs. I assume if the enemy is stunned, if the enemy is stunned from her passive, I assume this procs. Just mid-turn. Okay. Her link set, that being Money, 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 Solid Support, Brainiacs, The Incredible Adventure, Guidance of the Dragon Ball, Scientist, and Shot in the Limit. Okay. Bit of an odd mixture of links, but of course it is Youth Bulma, right? Categories: Peppy Gals, Dragon Ball Seekers, Youth, DB Saga buff, as well as Earthlings and Earthbred Fighters, and these are her stats. And she's awakening from this Bulma. Interesting, from the World Tournament, okay. Okay, so her old passive may stun all enemies, but isn't that a 100% chance to stun? The may stun all enemies thing? Because doesn't that Tech Jacko have that? And that in Chaozu? Okay, so she still gives that support. Okay. Pretty much the same thing. The same thing, okay. And the same thing. It's practically the same damn passive. Unless I'm missing something. Okay. So, I mean, she's she's okay. She's not great, obviously, considering that she has to rely on stunning the enemy for her to be effective. But the support is cool. She has 2 separate stun procs. Well, actually 3. My bad. One being guaranteed for the first turn, and then 2 being a 30% chance. One being for 2 turns, one being for 1 turn. And granted, you do have the enemy stunned. She can give up to how much support? Granted, of course, again, you get that 50% chance of giving that additional 30% attack and defense. She can give up to 4 key, and what's that, 160% attack and defense to all allies. That's crazy, but a 30% chance to crit. That's really good. That is really good support, but the thing is that the enemy has to be stunned, and of course, you have to proc that 50% chance of getting an additional 30% attack and defense for all allies. So that's about it. I mean, she has no attack and defensive buff outside of her own support to speak of, so that's not really all that great. She doesn't have a defensive ability to fall back on. I'm not counting a debuff as a defensive ability because, of course, it's a fucking debuff. So she needs a defensive ability to fall back on, 100%, as well as stats. And that's gonna be about it. Yeah, she's just lacking a defensive ability as well as a actual starter turn attack and defensive buff. I'm not going to count the support as an actual starter turn attack and defensive buff because, I mean, it's support. Would you count that? I mean, technically you could, but I think that she should just have her own, like, starter turn attack and defensive buff. That's just what I think. So, yeah, she just needs a defensive buff to fall back on. Dodge would be the best thing for her to get. This card seems practically perfect. Guard with up to 70% damage reduction gets up to ridiculous stats, and he has an equipment in Dokfan, bro. This guy, I don't know how he will look awakened, but I think the route that you should probably go with him is maybe make him, like, I don't know, go with like the physical Goku Black design, the Dokkan Fest Goku Black for super bosses. Let him get damage reduction per corroded body and mind character, or maybe damage reduction per extreme class ally in the team, so that way, you know, he can have a defensive ability to fall back on, and maybe let him have him guard if you have a, I don't know, a corroded body and mind character attacking the same turn, just one. So he could have up like 50% damage reduction with guard, which would be ridiculous with support. Does he give support? I don't remember. Probably not. And then as for these guys, of course, it's SR, so I can't really say much. Obviously, they're going to be buns, but, you know. I mean, there are good SRs, you know, that there's probably good SR on this website, but yeah. Wait, I think that's going to be about it. Yeah, that's going to be about it. I already read the Bulma. So, interesting. I think I have about 5 cards. Who's up next? He would be an Awakening, wouldn't he? Interesting. Who's up next after him? Okay, another SR. Alright, so Chi-Chi. And then a Frieza. Interesting. Alright, so that's going to be about it. I appreciate you guys for watching. You guys are the best. Join the 24/7 Discord server. Link is down below in the description for you guys to join today. And leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And that will be all. Peace.